All right, so let's start this continuous coverage on WION about the Israel-Palestine conflict that has broken out since this morning in a way that hasn't happened in quite a few years. Now, it's been several hours since the state of Israel woke up to a barrage of rockets that were fired from the Hamas group from the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel's National Rescue Service has said that at least about 22 Israelis have been killed and hundreds of others have sustained some serious injuries. Hamas militants have also reportedly kidnapped an estimated 35 Israelis and have taken them hostage. Some of these hostages are Israeli soldiers who've been captured near the Gaza-Israel border. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the country, that is the state of Israel, is now at war. In retaliation to the strike, Israel has launched air raids on Gaza with dozens of jets. In what has been dubbed as the biggest offensive by the Palestinian faction Hamas against Israel following the 2021 10-day war, the armed wing of Hamas, who have been in charge of the Gaza Strip, have declared the launch of what the Hamas group has described as Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Hamas has also called on the resistance fighters in the West Bank as well as the other Arab and Islamic nations to join in the battle. The Hamas group has said that nearly about 7,500 rockets have been fired since the break of dawn earlier today.
فقد قررنا أن نضع حداً لكل ذلك بعون الله ليفهم العدو أنه قد انتهى الوقت الذي يعربد فيه دون محاسب، فإننا نعلن بدء عملية طوفان الأقصى. كما أننا نعلن بعون الله وقوته أن الضربة الأولى من عملية طوفان الأقصى والتي استهدفت مواقع العدو ومطاراته وتحصيناته العسكرية خلال 20 دقيقة الأولى.
In the early hours of Saturday, air raid sirens wailed across Israel's southern and central areas, including in Jerusalem, Rehovot and in Ashkelon. The multiple fires broke out across these cities as the Palestinian rockets managed to pierce through the Israeli defense systems and hit several targets. In Gaza, the militants even claimed having taken over Israeli military assets, including tanks and other armored vehicles. A Hamas brigade has released images showing what it says is their members penetrating through the Israeli-Gaza border fence and onto the Israeli side. Now, addressing the conflict at an emergency meeting, the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said that the people of Palestine have a right to defend themselves against, quote-unquote, the terror of illegal Israeli settlers and occupation troops. Now, buckling up to thwart the incoming attack, the Israeli Defense Forces launched air raids into Gaza under Operation Iron Swords. The Israel security forces have been ordered to clear the infiltrated towns, and they've also called upon the reservists. The Israeli army has said that Hamas will face the consequences and responsibility for these events. Israel's defense minister has said that Iran-backed Hamas made a quote-unquote grave mistake by declaring war on Israel. Now, Israeli forces have also carried out an air raid across 17 military compounds and 4 operational command centers belonging to the Hamas group in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Palestinian health minister has declared a state of emergency in all hospitals. This after reports revealed that several Palestinians have been killed and many other Palestinians have been injured after Israel launched a counterattack. The latest fire follows a period of heightened tensions in September when Israel had shut off the borders to Gazan workers for a period of 2 weeks. The shutdown of the crossing had come as the Palestinian protest had rocked the heavily militarized border. The critics have slammed the border closure as nothing but collective punishment against thousands of Palestinian people. Meanwhile, the months-long anti-judicial reform protests have been called off in the wake of these latest attacks. All right, now to give us more insights on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen from Israel has been tracking this story pretty closely for us and has sent us this report from a bomb shelter. Listen.
Israel's emergency services say 22 Israelis have been killed and 550 people treated in hospitals for their injuries. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has called this a war which he expects Israel to win. In the meantime, Hamas, which rules neighbouring Gaza, has infiltrated Israel and is reportedly holding several communities on the border hostage, claiming it has kidnapped 35 Israeli civilians and soldiers. That's after Hamas said it launched 5,000 rockets into Israel on Saturday morning, with a further 2,500 rockets later on, including in central cities like Ra'anana, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, which contains the holy sites. Representatives from the US, Europe and UN have condemned Hamas's attack and affirmed Israel's right to defend its citizens. And the Israel Defense Forces say they are targeting Hamas sites in response. This is Jody Cohen for WION World as One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.